name is Bridgett Pride, and I am the reference librarian for the Manuscripts, Archives, and Rare Books Division and the Art and Artifacts Division of the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture.
Thank you. And our first question for you is how/why did you become an archivist? What's your origin story?
So I wanted to become an archivist because I was a literature major and then a history major, and I was always very frustrated by the complicated nature to which doing any type of research was when I was looking for Black voices, particularly the voices of Black women who are also queer. So basically, I was looking for myself. And so I decided that the best way to solve that problem was to make sure that those voices were elevated and accessible. And so I went to library school to do that and do that every day now at the Schomburg Center.
Oh, I love that answer. Thank you. Second question for you. How do you engage your audiences?
As the reference librarian of two research divisions of a public library, but a archive within a public library, I have the wonderful opportunity to get to teach. So I have classes that come in from New York, from Philadelphia, from New Jersey, who are curious about learning about the Black diaspora. And so that is truly one of my favorite parts of my job is getting to work with first-time researchers, whether they're in the fourth grade, they're college students, or they're graduate students, and getting to teach people the magic of the archive, what is inside, and watch their faces light up when they find out that they are allowed to be there and encouraged to be there and just unveiling all there is to learn, and all of the different topics that can be covered within an archive. And so just being the bearer of such wonderful news and introducing people to how to access that type of knowledge is just such a fun thing to get to do and can be really engaging because you can do that in so many different ways. I've had the great pleasure to be able to do that during the pandemic virtually. I've done it in person, and just making connections with first time learners in whatever way is the most accessible to them at the time.
I particularly love that because traditionally archivists, the stereotype is like gatekeepers, keeping the treasures behind closed doors. And how you've described your role and the work that you've been doing, it's like you were throwing those doors wide open, you're taking them off the hinges, like
Yeah, it's like the archive is for everyone, and like the fact that I work in a public library makes that so much easier. Like it's against the mission to say no. So really having the opportunity to roll out the red carpet and like come hang out with us, whether that's like at a public program where we're singing and dancing like on Langston Hughes Ashes, or if we're in the reading room engaged in study. There's so many different ways to engage.
Mhm. My third question for you, what's the best or most creative public use you've seen with your collections?
For this, I have to shout out my colleague, Katie Atu Tubman, who is the director of our Junior Scholars Program. And so she works with students from elementary school to high school, where they engage in group study of materials at the Schomburg Center. And every year they produce some sort of project or exhibit. Um, and this past year, the students engaged in creating zines that documented their study of the autobiography of Malcolm X. And these young scholars blew my mind with these thoughtful pieces that they had created from reading Malcolm X's edits of his autobiography that we hold and really connecting with him on a personal level by being exposed to his papers at the Schomburg. Um, and they created a digital exhibit, which anyone can look at. And it's called By Any Means Necessary and is available on the Schomburg Center website. And just watching these young people and how they processed like some heavy topics and these revolutionary ideas is just fascinating to me. And just the fact that we have programs like that in an archive where young people are encouraged to come and engage in this way is so important. And I would love to see more activities like this happen in archives.